Guys, it started early again. I don't know why it does that. I'm gonna ask though. Because it's getting annoying. Yeah. But we're gonna make the best of it. We are. I promise. Once I get it set up. I'm also going to open that. And we're going to need to go here. Here. Hello, Timothy. Hi, Bunny Hospital. Guys, I'm not started yet. YouTube started me early. So you can chat with me while I get set up. Excuse me. How is everybody's Friday doing? And where are you guys from? You guys are being quiet. How is everybody? Bunny Hospital. I don't even know what to say to that. I'll be serious. I don't. I will have a poll up for you in just a second. Because I'm not even supposed to be started. I wouldn't. I wouldn't need any of it. That's just me. Bye, Bunny Hospital. This is not my favorite part of live. I don't like the setup. How you doing, numbers 1153? Hi, Adventures with Alex99. My live doesn't start till 1 o'clock. Oh, shoot. YouTube, for some reason, likes to start me early. And I haven't figured out why sometimes it does it. Because it'll do it right after I hit... Like if I set up my live for like 1 o'clock and it's 12:45, I stand a really good chance of it starting early, which drives me nuts. And if anybody knows why it does that, I'm all ears. Because I'd really like to know. You guys excited? It's the weekend. I'm not so excited about the weekend because I don't have a weekend. It's work even if I don't want to work. Because I have to. Hi, bad boy underscore Q1. I'm trying to be motivated. Hi, bad boy Q1. I said hi. Come on. Are you guys doing anything this weekend? Or are you all bots? Well, give me another minute and I will get started. Hey, carry me through. I got to do one more thing before I start. So just give me a second. Oh, nice. There's... six of them. And I have to do each one individually. Sorry, I'm doing something I was going to do yesterday. And ended up not doing it because there were other more important things to take care of. And so this job did not get done. But I'm hoping it will make our lives a little bit easier. Maybe. Maybe not. Hi, Bunny Hospital. Welcome back. Oh, nuts. I promise we are going to be starting here in just a second. Or two. I am entering some stuff into my doesn't need to exist thing. Okay, for now, Okay. So we're going to go ahead and get started because it is time. Don't forget, if you're new to the channel, to subscribe. Make sure you click the like button and answer the poll down below. The poll is, what size of hail is considered to be severe? Is it A, pea size, B, nickel, C, penny, or D, quarter, or larger? Hi everyone, I am Charlie, aka Nature Guy X46, and this is the Natureverse 4.7. And today, we're looking at two different weather-related issues. One is blizzards and the other is hail. Let's step through that door into the Natureverse to learn about these two features of weather. So if you live in the United States and you don't live under a rock, you will know that the East Coast had a blizzard over the weekend. I believe it was the weekend. Anyway, blizzards typically feature three things: wind, snow, and cold. Now, luckily, blizzards are supposedly rare. Although, tell that to the people who just went through one. The official U.S. Weather Service definition of a blizzard is a storm that produces large amounts of snow or blowing snow with winds that exceed 35 miles per hour and visibility that is less than a quarter of a mile for extended periods of time. Now, they typically occur in the upper Midwest and the Great Plains. But I don't think I need to say this. They can occur anywhere where it gets cold enough to have a blizzard. Conditions are right for blizzards when you get a strong low pressure area and a high pressure area moving in together-ish. And that can produce a blizzard. Whiteouts are a problem, especially when conditions are bad, meaning that the winds are whipping. They can whip up the snow that is already on the ground, and that's in the air. Typically, when whiteouts occur, it's when the storm is producing a drier, more powdery snow. Winds combined with already freezing conditions can create another dangerous situation. You can experience very low. During a blizzard, temperatures can feel like minus degrees below Fahrenheit. With strong winds and heavy snow, sometimes we get power outages. And those can be dangerous because then your inside temperature can be your outside temperature, and it's just bad. Pipes can freeze. It's a whole messy situation. The last blizzard that I went through, you couldn't see across the street even. Shifting our attention from the extreme cold and snow of blizzards, we're going to explore a powerful, destructive form of frozen precipitation. No, we're not talking about snow. That brings us to our next topic, which is hail. Now, hail is ice, but typically we don't see hail during the winter. It is produced during thunderstorms. So, what is hail? It is a ball of ice that forms inside of thunderstorm updrafts. So, basically, what happens is you get raindrops. Those raindrops get sent up into the colder parts of clouds, and that starts the process. That's what we're going to talk about. Hail can cause damage to vehicles, aircrafts, homes, and whatever else it hits. Plus, it can be deadly to humans and animals. So, during a thunderstorm, oftentimes, I gotta find something I can write on. And I don't even know if it'll show up. Very often in thunderstorms, we get big clouds. That's a cloud. We're going to pretend like that's a cloud. So rain falls when those raindrops get too heavy. Oopsie. But sometimes when it rains during a thunderstorm, you get updrafts. And updrafts are wind that blows the rain up. And even though it might be 80 degrees or more, these updrafts can carry the rain up into the clouds. The higher up it goes, the colder it is. And so you might get a little blotch of hail, of frozen rain. That little ball of ice, the more it spends up inside the cloud, and we're going to talk more about this, comes in contact with more raindrops. The water freezes on contact with the hailstone that is already forming. So they grow bigger by coming into contact with more hail, or with more raindrops. Sorry, not hail, raindrops. Cloudy hailstones are produced when air bubbles get trapped in the newly formed ice. However, if the hail gets to the point where where the water freezes slowly, you get clear ice or clear hail. Now, because it is so cold up here, it is up to that updraft to keep the hailstones up in the clouds. So, when you have a really strong thunderstorm, the upper levels of those clouds are really cold. Really cold. The updrafts carry those water drops above the 32-degree mark or 0 degrees Celsius, where they freeze and they grow by adding more supercooled water. 32 degrees is that threshold, while temperatures between negative 22 degrees Fahrenheit and 14 degrees Fahrenheit lead to the significant growth that's going to occur to that hailstone. So just because it's 80 degrees down on the ground doesn't mean it's 80 degrees up in the clouds. Hi, Brianna. I'm sorry, Brina. I feel like I'm not saying your name right. When that updraft that so far has kept our hail up in the clouds, when it can no longer do that, when it can no longer, Brina, I was saying it right. Sorry. When that updraft can no longer keep the hail up in the sky, it's going to fall. Or when that updraft weakens, it'll fall. Remember, hailstones have to have rain drops in order to grow bigger. How fast a hailstone falls depends on three or four things. One, the size the size of the hailstone, the friction between the hailstone and the air, as well as the degree to which the hailstone is falling or has melted. Sorry. Small hailstones less than an inch in diameter may fall at speeds of between 9 to 25 miles per hour, while larger hailstones between 2 to 4 inches in diameter may fall at speeds of 44 to 72 miles per hour. Anything larger than 4 inches in diameter is going to fall at speeds of 100 miles an hour. So one hailstone that fell in South Dakota had a diameter of 8 inches and a circumference of 18.62 inches, and it weighed 1 pound and 15 ounces. Now, there are categories of hail that you have probably heard at some point if you live in the United States. Pea-sized hail is a quarter inch diameter. Mothballs, a half of an inch diameter. Penny, 3/4 of an inch in diameter. Nickel, 7/8 of an inch in diameter. Now, let's talk severe. What is considered to be a severe hail size? Anything over an inch in diameter. So a quarter, if you hear quarter-sized hail, that is classified as severe. Ping pong ball is 1.5 inches. Golf ball, 1 3/4. Tennis ball, 2.5 inches. Baseball, 2 3/4 of an inch. Teacup, 3 inches. Softball, 4 inches. And I just lost my place because I forgot to mark it. And finally, we have grapefruit, which is 4.5 inches. Now, it might surprise you to know that hail starts off as either sleet or as something called grapple. And I'm not sure I'm pronouncing that right, but whatever. That is a small, soft pellet that's formed when supercooled water droplets at a temperature of below 32 degrees Fahrenheit freeze onto a snow crystal. Now, typically, these things, when you pick them up, they're going to melt right away. But that can lead to hail. And of course, the sleet and the grapple are going to be up in the clouds where we can't see it. On Doppler radar, hail looks like heavy rainfall. But if a meteorologist uses dual polarization radar, can tell the difference between hail, ice pellets, and rain, it can also determine the size of the hailstones. Why does hail burn to the touch? Probably because it is so cold. Hail burns the skin when picked up because of a thing called ice burn or cold burn, which damages skin cells in a manner very similar to extreme heat. Hailstones are made up of water, and they are extremely cold. Upper atmospheric layers, often between 14 degrees Fahrenheit to negative 13 degrees Fahrenheit, or negative 10 degrees Celsius to negative 25 degrees Celsius, remain far below freezing when they hit the ground in warm weather. So you get, when you touch a hailstone, your warm skin transfers its heat to the ice, causing a massive fast temperature drop in your skin tissue, which nerves interpret as burning pain. Yep. Thank you, Brianna. Sorry, Braina. Sorry. Extreme cold surfaces cause water inside your skin cells to freeze. As the water freezes, it expands and creates sharp crystals that break open cell membranes, destroying the tissue. Human skin has both cold and warm receptors, but warm receptors have a slow response time. This means your brain may not instantly register the freezing temperatures, and by the time you feel pain, the cells are already damaged. The moisture on the surface of the hailstone can stick to your skin, increasing the contact surface and speeding up the transfer of heat away from your body, causing a rapid, intense stinging sensation. Remember, larger hailstones are not to be messed with. They can actually cause blunt force trauma. When forecasting hail, meteorologists look for three things: an updraft strong enough to keep the hailstones in the air for some time, supercooled water to enable growth as the stone travels, ice, snow, or dust that the hail can use to begin the growing process. Sort of like a seed. Sort of. Does hail mean that there could be a tornado? Not always, but maybe. Large hail often forms in the area where a tornado may form. So, if you're having a thunderstorm and you get large hail, it would be safe to maybe assume that there could be a tornado nearby and seek appropriate shelter. Remember, Thursday, 5 o'clock, no live on the Wildlife Replica World channel, and maybe no live on Friday at 1 p.m. It just depends how I feel. Tonight's live, and I'm going to have to start early on this one. We are doing mythology and cryptids, and we're going to be looking at owls and how different cultures see the owl. And that's basically the concept behind those lives, is we're going to be looking at how other cultures look at owls. Are they friend or are they foe? And then tomorrow we're going to do a monthly roundup. And then we're going to do home science lab. So we're going to be doing those things later tonight. And for my moderators, I have added the feces emoji as well as the middle finger emoji into my live. I do have to add the other middle finger because there were 6 of them, and somehow I ended up with just 1. I don't know if I deleted it or what happened. That was weird. So that is done. What the heck? I have to do, I think I'm gonna start doing some, when I do the polls on my videos or on the community page, I'm gonna start doing those as shorts, just because. So basically what should happen now is that when people try to put up those things, they won't show. That's the hope anyway. Why did that not show up? That's weird. Oh, there it goes. I don't know if it'll do any good, but we'll try. Well, that's good. Ah, that would be nice. Understood. I need that other middle. It's not giving me... It's not giving me the other finger. Okay. We're going to close out of that. Open it back up. And hopefully it's back. With any luck. Because I need it to be. I'm trying to get this taken care of. There it goes. You can go. But I have to keep it open so I can do what I'm doing. Otherwise, people will still be able to do it. Yep. I have to have the image to copy and paste it. We lost a subscriber. Yep. I will talk to you later. I'm gonna exit out. Have a good evening.